He doesn't need his name up in lights, he just wants to be heard, whether it's the beat of the mic. He feels so unlike everybody else, alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know. But no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure his click stays up. That means when he puts it down, tops picking it up. Let's go to him as he gains weight. He never really talks much, never concerned with status, but still leaving him starstruck. Humble through opportunities given despite the fact that many misjudge him because he makes a living from writing raps. Put it together himself and the picture connects. Never asking for someone's help, but to get some respect. He's only focused on what he wrote. His will is beyond reach, and now it all unfolds. The skill of an artist. This is 20% skill, 80% fear. Be 100% clear, cause Ryan was ill. Who would've thought he'd be the one that set the West in flames? And I heard him wreck it with the crystal method, name of the game. Came back, dropped Megadeth, took him to church. I like Bleach, man. Why you had the stupidest verse? This dude is the truth. Now
We're here with Damon Zahara from CAC United Sports Cycle. Damon, you're playing a very good PAC team tonight. What's the game plan against them in the first game?
You just gotta outwork them, play harder than them, be more physical than them.
So Damon, is it important to get a good start here early on in the first period? Because I know you've had slow starts against them this year. How important is that in this game?
It's important because that sets the tone for the game.
Sounds good, Damon. Good luck. I get more. We're here with defenseman Braden Duffett. Braden, tell me, you're playing a very good PAC team tonight. What's the game plan?
Game plan is just stay hard, play our systems, just have fun.
And obviously they're a very good team. They played you hard this year. How important is a fast start in the first period?
It's very important. You gotta get puck speed, gotta get one early. Yeah.
Sounds good, Braden. Good luck.
It's a golden game, Wallace. Win the game.
So obviously they have a very good team that started the game early against you guys in past games. You guys had slow starts. What's the game plan to start early?
Just like before, get on the guys. They don't take pressure easy. So if we get out there 4 seconds, we're gonna shut them down. So,
Sounds good, Logan. Good luck tonight.
thanks.
CAC Canadians playoff bandwagon here. There you go. Both the visiting Saints, number 31, Gallon Crossland, and for your CAC Canadians, number 1, Kyle Webster. Between the fights, these teams evenly matched through the regular season, you were saying, Curtis?
Very close. I think it was 2 ties this season and 1 3-2 win for the Saints in their home rink.
Well, I expect quite the game tonight. We're underway.
Pucks are up, Frostad up to West. West chips that into the PAC zone. That's picked up by number 13. Downward. Right on front, Canadians have it as a shot from the point. Duffett. Duffett shot is knocked into the near corner. Sent down low. Downward's going to pick that up. Outlet on the far side. Rogers. Centering pass. Saints pick that up. Coming into the zone. Number 19, Rushfall. Put over to the near side. Canadians get the back in the zone on the near boards. Johnson finds that in the neutral zone. Directs it right onto Webster. He sets that up for Duffett. Duffett puts it to West. Just off his stick. Canadians get it back. Duffett. Frosted. Frosted. First side for Duffett. Duffett. Cross-size pass. Looking for Rink. Gets just past the ice and waved off. Back to hit the call out. Number 5. 5. Over to Wednesday. Wednesday taking it out the stop. On Marks. There's a shot on net. Cross-line steers that to the near boards. PAC sends it up the ice. Cushions and almost breaks free. Broken up by Morris. Harrison falls the back up for the Saints. Comes in. Canadians up. Morris to it fresh. Over to Eagle. Back to Yaniak. Turn in the zone. Here's the shot for Harrison up high. Punched off his stick. The herd moves that up the first side. We can do a centering pass to Yaniak. Oh, just missing the pass to Zahar. And the Eagle dumped that into the near corner. Saints get that back. Centering pass up to Christian. Trying to go to the far side to Wednesday. Hops over his stick. Morris set up to the neutral zone. Saints starting up in their own zone once again. But it was tricky. Okay, I'll see what I can do. Thanks. Let's see if I can boost that skill for us, guys. Comes off the near side. Into the far corner. Saints tickle that down low. Comes up to the side. That's going to be poked away by Yaniak. And it rolls into the Saints zone. Comes up, here's the shot. That hit player goes wide. Turcotte picks up the corner for the Canadians. Tries to move that down to Dollywell. Cutting it off is Musiak. Musiak flips that to the near side. Picked up by Pitch.
interested in this game, some action back and forth, and Webster's had to be sharp, Curtis.
Canadians bring the puck into the Saints zone. Saints put it right back up. Saints bring it up the ice. Tank pass. That is off the mark. Comes into the near corner. Canadians pick it back up. Rapstead walking up the ice with it. Put into the Saints zone. Saints turn around right now. Christensen walking in the spot backhand shot. Tipped in front by number 27. Put into the Canadians to the near the boards. Shot from Manal. That goes wide. Rink is going to shift up the boards. Saints keep it in. It's going to be another chance. Oh, it's Saints. Chance in the Canadian zone. Puck chopped over the near boards. Yep, steps in. Christensen knocks it down low. Eagle up high. Comes up to center. Picked up by Schultz. Schultz goes in the right side. Back from Eagle kicks that to the point. Was not with a shot blocked by Yamia. Kubiak was over in the boards down low. Saints get it behind the net. Try to center that. That's blocked by Eagle. Goes to the far side. Picked up by Morris. Morris to Rink is going past the Yamia. Over to Zahara. Zahara stuck to the blue line. Circles back around. Ulrich follows it up. Gets the puck into the Saints zone. Far side. Saints come into the Canadian zone. Morris steps up on his man. Ulrich with the loose puck. Ulrich control again on the far side. Gets the milk from Rink Gomez. Shoots forward by Zahara. Hollywood chases it off. Zahara with the loose puck. Oh, just overskates it. Number 4 there. Did a great job poking it loose. Put in the Saints zone. Swept to the far side by Crossland. Canadians steal it back. Arch shot from the point. That hit traffic. So they go to the far boards. Saints coming through center with it. Put down low. Turcotte. And is now battling for it. Comes loose. The Canadians have it. Off the boards and into the Saints zone. Jumps in. Picks it up. Put back for Dalek. Dalek back over to Johnston. Comes up the boards with Sharp. Knocks it loose. Saints get it back behind their own net. Johnson with it. Tried to put it off the glass. Road by him. Goes down the lane. They get a shot here with 12:45 left in the first period.
Over 7 minutes of the first period gone, Curtis, and only 2 whistles. Back and forth, and the Canadians getting some blocks from their defenseman. Eagle taking a shot inside the leg in the center of the very end. Canadians, any chance they get over at center with back pressure, they're getting the puck deep and getting on the forecheck, so we'll have to work here with an offensive face-off.
In the scrum, battling against number 15. Zareski. Saints can win out here. They come out of the zone with it. Centering pass. Broken up by the Canadians. Frosted. Tried to throw that in the slot from the corner. Saints can get it. Frosted. Intercepts that. Gets it up to center. Put back into the Canadian zone. Turn over at center once again. Canadians back to Frosted with it. Puts it up the near side. Going down low and Frosted. He's going to make a stop there. Go pause with 11:59 to go in the first period.
Oh, doing some homework here before the game, Curtis. I looked at number 8, Jacob Morris, leading scorers for your Canadians, and also would be in the Good job by the Canadians defense, but it takes his man into the end boards, and the Canadians come away with it. Puck through the center, chipped in on the far side.
Canadians take that down low. Here's a wraparound. Kicked away by Crossley. And there's Crossley. And the Canadians open up the scoring with 11:24 to go in the first period.
Well, just get zone time, get the puck in deep, and that's what this Canadians team has been doing for the first period. There, a wraparound attempt didn't go, but we're able to get his own rebound, find a trailer in the high slot at the top of the circle, and he goes far side over the blocker of Crossland. And your Canadians up 1-0.
Puck comes into the Canadian zone. CACProud picks that up. Near corner. It's built to the far side. Webster had to make a quick save there. Getting turned over in their zone. Put it out in front. That's going to be cleared away by Richard. That comes up the center. Canadians with it. Strike gets in the zone. Drops up to Dolly. Ball thrown out in front for Taylor. Richard back to the back. Fires that in. Dolly ball takes that just wide. Comes over to the near boards. Richard gets that out. Battling in. Here comes Ben. The last shot. By the Canadian goaltender keeps the score sheet clean.
PAC Saints player able to come in, drive wide, gets to the net. Staring down Webster all alone, tries to go 5-hole, and then another Saints player gets a rebound, but Webster, square to the puck, holds on for a face-off. Canadians tender Webster.
Face off far
Dialed
side.
in here tonight.
In the Canadian zone. Canadians win it. Tick behind their net. Put to the far side. Makes it to the point. But not out. Webster has to make another shot. Taking that one from the point.
Well, PAC Saints look to just try to create something off the rush. Haven't had a lot of zone time thus far. Canadians doing a great job of separating man from puck in the defensive zone.
Puck put over to the near side. It's still in the Canadian zone after they win the draw. Pitching against the boards. Out comes Weiss. Crosstad wins it. He's gonna play the pitching again. Again, his shot that's blocked. Taken down low. Saints trying to move that up to the far boards. They're center with it. Now they're going to rush into the Canadian zone. Dumped on to Webster. They'll make the save. Drop it down for Crosstad. Saints, but that's just outside of their zone. And put it back to the Canadian side. Behind the net, here's Wilson, up high for Rodriguez Gomez, turns, fires, just wide, comes over to the near side. Eagle, drops the his man, keeps pucking this down. Now comes up center with it, Star, wide for Morris. Morris, drops that into the same zone, where he picked up by number 5. Put out to center, Eagle knocks it down, he's gonna hang on to it. Pass blocked, Yummy finds the loose pitch, puts it into the near side of the same zone. Cross the way, nope. Lorenzo for Saints. Rush the boat. Rink on the near side. Eagle with it. Gets it back. His pass was well kept in by the Saints. Saints turn. Drop for the shot. Is blocked in front. And he's going to make the stop here with 8:25 to go in the first period. Modulation is good. Canadians turn it over now.
PAC Saints able to get it and score enough
pass shot back by Morris. And offside. With 7:56 to go in the first period.
Well, these teams seem to be familiar with each other, Curtis. You can tell that anytime you can finish a check on a player, you're doing so much.
Every game was a battle this year. Wednesday, an excellent chance in front, but couldn't put it home. And it looks like the net's come off. So we're going to take a brief break here and reset on the near side of the Canadian zone.
So I had the opportunity to watch number 17, Eric, go up over to the Mohammed here, but he was the lady, and more of a power forward player than Shirley is now with his size and stature.
Since coming on the offensive zone, they tried to put it back to the far. That was knocked down by a Turk cut. Arm of the official up here. We got a hooking call. And into the box will be Jackson Turcott of the Canadians. 2-minute penalty for hooking call with Edmonton driving left in the first period.
They got Frost out and Elbrush, got Ulrich out here. As well as Taylor and Burnett up front. First PK unit. The big club up to the right of Webster.
Hits a player and will go out of bounds. Bendel steps into the high shot, but couldn't get it past the Canadians' defenses.
So I think that ended up going off the arm of Burnett. Well there, but ended up laying block shot. The face off 8-year-old man and fresh legs.
Saints with the puck.
Puck work to the half wall on the near side of Christensen. That's our leading scorer, Curtis. And he gets a shot on Webster, but the screening player didn't get him over in time. Taking the eyes going in from Webster, and he was able to get it set right into the Canadian blow.
15 seconds left in the States.
take the wind out of the sails of the Canadians on the power play, but the Canadians able to weather the storm and kill it off. I've seen a couple plays by Yamniak. Shifty, good eyes, good vision. He made a play earlier on in the a player for entering the zone, and they were a little shifty to help pass to the step early out of the zone. That's going to be a penalty, Chris. Burnett.
Really, partner Burnett got pasted there. I don't know the number.
That's going to be Rogers going to the box. Burnett contact. Burnett pasted in the glass, and they're able to be on the power play. Wow, 8 seconds of power play time is all it takes for your Canadians to score on the power play. A shot from the point. Forward in the bumper. Look for the tip. I don't think he got it, but the player right in front of the net. Taking the eyes away from the goalie, and I do see what you're saying, Curtis. Dollar will curl back to get away from his check. He bumped the goaltender as he came back to the front of the net. Right as the puck was getting the blue paint. And rightfully so, the PAC Saints would like an explanation.
It was close. It was close. There's still a lot discussing it on the ice. At the bench,
that's Corey Perry and Curtis. They'll be right there on top of the goaltender. Saints, you can tell, just frustrated. The Canadians now under their skin, and you see how the officials deal, and then he scrums after the whistle. No more distractions coming from that. defensive end, Curtis. Anytime a puck is shot from the point, you get 5 Canadians collapsing right into the slot, clear out the puck, tie up the man, and a lot of times in this first period, that shot's been going off the bodies, so they've been getting into blankets and block shots as well.
Take away the eyes of the goaltender. When you get that friendly bounce, maybe it's got to get the one earlier. That's sort of promised that. The best that is going to Rogers. Totally. It's going to the far side, look for Rogers. That's to come off on the far side by Rogers. Rogers gets it back. Puts that high into the air. 10 seconds to go in the period. This is still coming up in there.
First 3 shots for the PAC States, 14 for your CNC Canadians, 9. But you will lead after 20 minutes for your Canadians. PAC States going 0 for 1 on the power play, and your Canadians 1 for 1. A great first period, Curtis, and a great 20 minutes to build on going into the second period.
Yep. And the Saints seem to keep the cool. They were ramped up right after that power play goal, but I think they settled back in. Come back, they had a good zone time there. Canadians survived it, got the puck back down the ice a couple times, but there we go.
Got no good first 20 minutes, and you can't be upset with that 20 minutes at all. 2-goal lead, 1 for 1 on the power play. Some opportunities for the PAC Saints, and maybe a couple missed opportunities, but anytime they had a great scoring chance, which is probably maybe 3 chances in that period, maybe 4, Webster dialed in through 20 minutes.
And we'll leave it at that. Okay, so folks, we'll get away from our sponsors, and I'll reset the stream here, probably, I hope we get some better
Well, back to the second period here. Your CAC Canadians up 2-0. PAC Saints pick it up and drive into the zone. Eagle forces his man off the puck and out to outside. PAC will keep it in the zone. Curtis still working on the technical issues here. PAC centering pass from down low. That's picked up by the Canadians up to the blue line, but not out. Turned around to the far boards. PAC likes to send it right back around to the near side. Puck back up to the fire through the slot. Webster down to the butterfly, stops that, and your Canadians out to center. They'll send it in and get the full line change going here as the Saints have to tag up and come out of their own zone. Up to center, but no further. Your Canadians will send it right back in.
Turn up the ice by the Saints. Here comes without off the bench, coming up the right side into the Canadians' zone. Down, tries to set it out, that's knocked down by the Canadians. Canadians, West picks it up. Thorvaldson inside, comes in with the speed. Chopped off his stick, comes over to the near boards. Here comes without, sends that to Bendall, lost the handle. Canadians move that out to the neutral zone. Kept in on the right side by Pitcher. Pitcher takes it in the corner. Canadians get it back short. Up the near side. Tumusiak goes back to the same zone. Picks up the puck, throws it on the far side. That's cut off by Frost. That jumped into the same zone. Takes Schultz. Cross ice pass. That's cut off by the Canadians. Slam! And Yamiak, when the timer shot just goes off the near side. Saints lead that out to the line, but not out. Kept in by the Canadians. Now comes up center. Ulrich with it. Dumps that back in. Schultz with the loose puck for the Saints. Thrown up the ice. Knocked down by Turcotte. Turcotte tried to feed to Rink Gomez, but that's going to end up being called icing. And we'll reset with 17:35 left in the second period.
On that last shift there, Tanner Rushfield for the PAC Saints upended just outside the Canadians' blue line. He got up slowly and went to the bench right to be attended by the trainer, so we'll see if he comes back.
Canadians would rather get out to the neutral zone. Saints the right back right on to Webster. He moves that to the near side. Has put in by Harrison. Does that in front. That's put away by the Canadians. Thrown up the near boards. Canadians pick up the puck. Rink Gomez up to Yamiak. Yamiak comes in the near side. Tries to drop that back to Rink Gomez. Back. Puck passes over Yamiak. In the slot. A violent shot. Rink Gomez on the doorstep. Picks up the puck and throws the rebound into the back of the net. 3-0 Canadians.
Well, just a great job on the zone entry to control the puck. Shot coming off the half wall. Rebound right in front and go to where the puck is at the front of the net. Able to shovel it in short side, and your Canadians up 3-0. Under 3 minutes into this second period.
Draw one by the Canadians. Morris throws that behind the net to the far side. Picked up by number 20. 20. The check comes in. Shot off the blocker. Webster thrown to the backside of the net. Eagle picks it up. Trying to go to the far side. Put to the far side. Burnett. Puck against the boards. Battle for it on the far side. Centering pass picked up by Morris. Morris is going to put that up the near boards. It'll roll into the same zone, and the whistle will go on the icing.
Canadians again. There's 4 minutes to play the center mid of the ice to get a scoring opportunity in there, even with the Canadians hemmed in their own zone, able to prevent the PAC Saints from getting an opportunity.
Puck's dropped in the Canadian zone. Thrown to the outside. Canadians get it. Here's Richard centering pass. Dollywall chips that in. Goes to chase it. Johnson edges him off the puck. And behind the play, the official has his arm up. It's going to be a charging call issued against the Saints.
It's good. It looks like a boarding call, Curtis.
Boarding, okay.
But even there, for like we saw in the first period, the Canadians do a great job supporting the zone exit. The winger gets the puck along the boards. The centerman right there for a 5 or 8 foot pass supporting the winger, and Canadians don't panic when they get trapped in their own zone, Curtis.
Nice and calm and cool. Saints starting to spend a little more time in the box. Canadians find the puck in the neutral zone. Frostad with it. Moves to the far side to Hoare. Hoare drops that back. That's cut off by the Saints. A shot blocker save. And that's going to end up out of play. Webster had to be quick off of that turnover.
Well, you don't really want to test your goaltender on the power play, but Webster sharp to get his blocker on that and get that up out of play. The Canadians back on the power play. 1 for 1 in the first period with a power play goal. Face off to the right of Webster in the Canadian zone.
Canadians come away with the puck. Eagle ventures over to the near side. Stolen back by Bendall. And then the Canadians retrieve the puck once again. Richard, far side. West comes back to the near side to Enriquez Gomez. Enriquez Gomez into the zone. Puts that down low. Saints get a hold of it and dump it back to the Canadian zone. Webster out to play it. Hangs onto it. Moves that over to Richard. Or is that West? Pardon me. West is going to carry that up the ice. Oh, cross ice pass to Richard. Richard gets into the Saints zone. Far side for Enriquez Gomez. He's going to walk that down. Oh, and Richard had his stick held. There he is, lining one up in the slot. Eagle keeps it at the line, sends to the far boards. Saints pick it up below their goal line. Now it comes loose for West. West moves that up the far boards. Enriquez Gomez keeps that in the zone. Johnson wins the board battle and gets the puck down the ice. Webster quickly tries to move it. Eagle has to hustle back because Rogers is on the forecheck. Eagle resets behind his own net. Over to Zahara. Walking it up the left wing. Into the same zone. Carries that down low. Schultz checks him into the boards. Left for Dollywall. He fires that right through the slot. It's going to come back to the Canadian zone. Webster sets that up with 5 seconds to go in the power play. Frostad over to Duffett. Duffett, far side looking for Hoare. Hoare comes in the right side. There's a shot, hit a stick and goes wide. Battle for it in the near corner. Duffett with a shot. Lorenz makes the kick save, comes off the glass, and then the net's gonna come off.
Well, the official's arm's up here. We'll see what happens. Is this probably exactly what you're talking about, Curtis? Oh, we're Dollywall might take one for bumping the goalie there. Tomasiak in to voice his displeasure. So it looks like Dollywall's going to even up the call here. It's going to be coincidentals. I believe the Canadians were going to go on the power play, but definitely the Canadians getting under the skin of the PAC Saints here in this second period.
Saints to Musiak draws Dollywall into the box with him. Officials still discussing it a little bit here. Faceoff is going to be in the Saints zone.
So not a bad power play opportunity, Curtis, for the Canadians, able to get zone entry in the second half of that power play. Move the puck around, get a couple good shots, but it looks like your Canadians are going to be shorthanded, double minor, I believe.
Ooh. Extra emotions puts the Canadians in the box. Gives the Saints a chance here.
Well, you don't want to give this Saints team an opportunity to get back in this game that you have been controlling for almost half. 13:30 remaining in the second period. The faceoff will be back down in the Canadian zone to the right of Webster. And indeed, the PAC Saints will be on the power play.
Yeah, I think the Canadians were getting underneath the skin there. But the Saints, a little extracurricular, ended up drawing the Canadians into the box. Now they're on the power play. Saints put the puck back to the point. Right to the far side. Christensen walking it down. All to Wellesley. That shot just got away from him. Rises off the glass. Taylor tries to jam it down. Kept in by Christensen. Near side for Wensley. Back to the point for Johnson. Over to Christensen. Swept off the stick by Turcotte. Not out of the zone. Saints Johnson keeping it in at the line. Stolen away from by Taylor, and he's going to put that puck all the way down the ice. Saints, 1:20 left in their power plays. Wensley goes back and moves out to the near side with it. Johnson waiting for Christensen as a trailer. He loses the handle of the puck and is dumped back into the Saints zone. Johnson for the Saints. Comes over to the near side. Drops that back off to Wensley. Turned over on the far boards. Richard takes that into the corner. Hold down.
Oh, there you go there. There's the even up penalty, Curtis, or even if it's not an even up penalty, there goes the PAC Saints power play. Gonna get some 4-on-4 time for 52 seconds.
Good hard work there by Owen Richard, stealing the puck in the offensive zone.
Well, that's exactly what this Canadians penalty kill's been doing. They reload hard up the middle of the ice and great on the forecheck. Just tons of pressure on the defenseman and on the zone exit for the PAC Saints. Unable to let them get set up, and you draw a penalty.
Canadians win the draw. Frostad tries to move that over to Horst, stolen by the Saints. Here comes the Saints Bendel up the near side. Frostad pushes him into the corner. Loosened up. Oh, there's a shot, comes off the side of the net, poked in front of the crease, cleared away by Webster, and Duffett's going to move that up the ice. Wheels it through the neutral zone. Pass to the right side to Hoare. Hoare drops that back, looking for Thorvaldsen. Instead, it is handled by Frostad. Puck comes back into the Canadian zone. Duffett with it. Gets that to Frostad. Frostad resets in his own zone. 12 seconds left in the Canadians' penalty, and then they'll be on the power play. Put to the far side. Ooh, the Canadians' number 28 Bizarre steals it back. Pass back to him, stolen by Hoare. Turned over at center. Schultz picks it up for the Saints as the Canadians get their man on the ice to back to full strength. And they're on the power. Oh, there's a shot. Lorenz takes that off the mask. Saints try to clear it out, kept in the zone by the Canadians. In front, Thorvaldsen's tip blocked. Lorenz got all of that one. Good spot there by Thorvaldsen. Puck put down the ice. Webster sets that up for Eagle. Eagle rushes that down, sitting on the right side is Ricus Gomez, centering pass. Broken up by number 5 of the Saints.
Well, great quick up pass by Eagle, reading that on the line change by the PAC Saints.
West battles it up the right side, gets the puck deep into the Saints zone. Enriquez Gomez picks it back up. Down low for Yemniak. Return back to Enriquez Gomez. Chop back to the line for Eagle. Right side for West. West hanging on to it. 10 more seconds left with the man advantage. And West is pushed out of the zone. Canadians have to reset. Good move there by Rogers of the Saints. Enriquez Gomez tries to sidestep his man. That's turned over. Eagle with a high shot. And Lorenz is going to make the save here.
Well, good job by Max Frostad, the defenseman at the end of 4-on-4, Curtis. Not the rush to play. Got to just control the puck back in the Canadian zone, wait for the power play to start, and then Canadians able to move the puck around well, including, like I said, that quick pass up on the line change by the PAC Saints. Eagle working it to the far side.
Puck put down low in the Saint zone. Burnett puts it behind the net, takes a heavy hit to do that.
Official is calling it. The back official's got a penalty with his hand up. The near official was not going to call it. Now it looks like Burnett is going to go too here, so.
Oh dear.
Going to draw somebody into the box with him. So that's exactly what the Saints realize they need to do. Holding penalty for the Saints. Cross-check penalty for Burnett. And like you said, PAC Saints get frustrated, get under your skin, but then they realize if they're going to take an infraction, they try to bring somebody with them to the box.
Start throwing the gloves. The Canadians are going to stand up for themselves. Bend up, joining them. Seems like half the time now. 20 coming on a rip. There's a shot. Blocker saved by Webster. Canadians trying to battle it off the boards. Now comes out to the neutral zone. Picked up by Schufeld. Schufeld comes in the near side, trying to battle in. Takes a bump. Puck goes loose. Tamusiak picks it up for the Saints. Cycles behind his own net. Loose puck picked up by Kirkman. Turned over back in the Saints zone, but the Saints get it back. Schultz over to Tamusiak. Tamusiak up to Kirkman. Kirkman's going to rush it out. Taking the left side into the Canadian zone. He dumps that on net. Webster steers that to the far corner. Kirkman sends that over to Rain. Staying in his way was Turcotte. Canadians pass comes to the far side to Dollywall. He sends that back to Eagle. Eagle up to Turcotte. Turcotte comes across center. He's going to walk into the Saints zone. There's a shot knocked on by Lorenz. He reaches over and gets to the puck just in time. Looks like the Canadians' Dollywall was on that far side hunting for another goal.
Well, Dollywall created that right from the zone exit on the breakout, Curtis. Instead of forcing it up the far side of the ice into pressure, kicked it back to Eagle. He went to his deep partner. It came up the near boards, and a bobbling puck there by the PAC Saints goaltender almost gave the Canadians another goal.
Saints win the draw in their own zone, try to put it behind their net, and the Canadians steal it back. Far side west to Thorvaldson. Thorvaldson comes off the half board, cycles into the slot, won't pull the trigger. Moves it to the near side for Morris. Morris harder on the boards, looking for Hoare. Hoare picks it up on the far side, shadowed by Tamusiak. Centering pass, broken up by Pitcher. Pitcher moves it up to Bendel. Bendel comes into the Canadian zone.
Great stick.
Stopped by Morris. Schultz for the Saints picks it up in his own zone. Cycles up the near side. Gets into the Canadian zone. Stopped by Morris. Flipped up to Hoare. Hoare with it. Moving out to West. West picks. Falls down, and we'll have an icing call here. Don't see that too often at the U16 level.
Well, the PAC Saints forward comes in on Morris two different times. Gets stripped to the puck right at the blue line. Great gap control by the defenseman Morris. Stepping up right at the blue line. PAC Saints unable to gain entry, but unfortunately it's an icing, so they will get an offensive face-off to the right of Webster.
8:18 to go in the second period. Centerman replaced on the PAC side. Wensley is going to take his spot. Wensley against Burchard. No, that's Zahara. Zahara wins it for the Canadians. Frostad up to Duffett. Duffett looking to lead Enriquez Gomez. Puck gets just in front of him. Johnson's going to pick that up for the Saints. Shadowed by Yamniak. Yamniak right on the forecheck here. Steals it back. Saints get it back. Put to the far side. Canadians keep it in the zone. Chopped through the slot. Zahara battling against Wensley. Comes to the point for Enriquez Gomez. There's a shot. Lorenz with the save. Comes off the near boards. Yamniak down low for Zahara. Zahara up the near boards. Yamniak shoveled back down to Zahara. Zahara coming up the half boards, wanted to move it back to Duffett. Gets past him. Canadians have to go back to their own zone to reset. Webster out, gets it to Frostad on the far side. Shoveled back to Duffett. Duffett uses the boards. Kept in on the right side by Johnson. Knocked down by the Canadian Zahara and put out to center. Zahara touches it in the Saint zone, and the offside's going to be the call here with 7:21 left in the second period.
Well, back to 5-on-5 play. Your Canadians with a 3-goal lead. Just continue what you're doing, Curtis. They're pushing the pace of play, not really giving the PAC Saints much to look at as far as offensive opportunities. Just don't get dragged into the penalty box.
Puck's turned over at center, thrown back into the Saints zone. Now the Saints going to move it up the ice. Stopped again at center by Dhaliwal. Flips that to the far side, looks for Richard. Getting inside him was Tamusiak. Tamusiak is going to move that to the far side. Turcotte picks it up for the Canadians. Up the far boards, skips past Dhaliwal, picked up by number 5. Quickly, cross-ice pass, looking for Rogers. Rogers trying to work around Ulrich. Rogers gets there, right side, off the mask of Webster. Puck cleared over to the far boards. Sent back down. Here's the Saints. Coming in the slot now. The pass to the point. Tamusiak takes a shot. That's hard off the ankle of Ulrich. Ulrich moves it up the ice to Dhaliwal. Dhaliwal coming into the Saints zone. Coming in the center. Takes the shot. That rolls off the stick of number 5 and will end up out of play.
Well, another block shot by this defense core for the Canadians. That time, probably the best opportunity of the period for the PAC Saints. Rogers beats his man at the blue line, able to get a shot on net, goes off the cage of Webster and just skips over the PAC Saints player driving for the far post. Or that would have been a tip-in.
Draw in the Saints zone. Scrambled. Put down low. Saints going to find it. Here's Schultz with it. Comes over the near side. Leaves that back for Zabrinski. That's picked off by Enriquez Gomez. Flips that to the open corner. Caught by number 20 of the Saints. Schufelt puts him into the boards. Loose puck. Comes over to Kirkman. Kirkman gets across center. Dumps that into the Canadian zone, but it ends up out of play. We'll have a face-off in the neutral zone.
Oh, we see Thorvaldsen, Hoare, and West out here now. That line back on the ice. PAC Saints will sub out their forward trio as well.
6:01 left in the second period. Puck's dropped, Saints win it, move it into the Canadian zone. Canadians get it back, move it back into the Saints zone. Here's number 15, Zareski. Cross-ice pass picked up by Bendel. Bendel coming in the right side, tries the inside Morris, picks his pocket, loose puck picked up by the Canadians' Hoare. Hoare jumps that back to Morris. Morris sends that up the ice to West. West has the puck chopped off his stick.
Offside.
And offside called here with 5:29 to go in the second period.
Again, Morris, great job. Even though his man had a step on him, he's able to get the stick around to the strong side and stick left right at the moment the opposing player is going to get a shot on net.
Perfect timing. Didn't give up on the play. Stuck with it. Good outcome. Battle for it right in front of the Saints bench. Comes loose in the neutral zone for Dhaliwal. Couldn't get cleanly into the Saints zone. Picks it up on the right side though. Shard steps into his man. Gets the puck down low for Dhaliwal. Dhaliwal ends up over the shoulders of Johnson. Saints trying to battle it out. Canadians keep it in. Here's Taylor with some space. Dhaliwal in front, but Taylor's pass was blocked. Puck goes to the far corner. Picked up by Christensen. Coming down the ice with it. Tried to get around the D. Frostad couldn't do that. Puck goes loose behind the goal line. Put up to the other side. Harrison picks it up for the Saints. Canadians, Enriquez Gomez gets it back. Pass out to Dhaliwal. He's going to dump that, head to the bench after a long shift. Saints, Stanilek picks it up. Fires that right into Christensen. Daniluk gets back, turned over to Yamniak. Yamniak can't get the shot off, lost in the feet. Henriquez Gomez picks up the puck. Around the boards, it's going to roll to the far side for Johnson. Johnson looking for Christensen. Christensen up the boards. Morris picks it up for the Canadians. But over to the near side, Rogers cuts that off the zone, fired into traffic for Morris, knocks that down. Henriquez Gomez couldn't get the angle around Rogers. Comes back to the point. There's a shot directed wide. Picked up by the Saints captain Rogers. Rogers drops that off for Johnson. Johnson tries to feed that into the slot. It's knocked back to the far corner. Turcotte off the boards. Rogers keeps that in. Yamniak got a piece of it. Turcotte is going to finish the clear and put it down the ice. Icing waved off here. Here comes Tamuziak. Spins around behind his own zone. Gets the puck up to Johnson. Johnson up the far side to Mavel. Mavel moves that puck into the Canadian zone. Knocked down at the line by Mavel, trying to direct towards the net. Turcotte knocks him down. Pass from Hort to Henriquez Gomez. Henriquez Gomez up the near side. Hort turns around, puts that into the Saints zone. Lorenz sets that up for Schultz. Schultz, far side. Turned over by Nandlo to Hort. Shot off the stick of Lorenz. And that will end out of play with 2:58 to go in the second period.
On the first period, Curtis Dollywall, maybe some goaltender interference right in the crease, bumped it for the second goal, and then again in the last shift, Dollywall, I'm liking him. It's like Zach Hyman. He's right there. It's accidentally on purpose. Gets mixed up with the guy in front of the net. He brings the energy.
That's right. Put it right to the line, but try and not step over.
Exactly.
Saints break it out of their own zone. This looks promising as they come into the Canadian zone. Put to the outside. That goes through the slot. Hort picks it up for the Canadians on the near side. Cycles it down low. Met by Bendel behind the net. Loose poke comes over to Frostad. Frostad moves that up to West. West stretches that, looking for Eagle. Was coming on the blind side. Saints read that. They get it back in their own zone. Schultz moves it up. That's put out to the neutral zone. Frostad takes it, dumps it into the opposite corner. Tamuziak with it. Moves that up to number 14, pitcher. That was cut off by Burnett. Burnett takes that to the far boards. Morris with it. Puts that into the Saints zone. Schultz knocks that down, gets it over to Tamuziak. Knocked down to the line by Morris. Put down low. Burnett could quite pick it up. Heck follows it up, puts that into the far corner. Pitcher moves that in the near side. Duffett's going to pinch down low. Hands that off to Schufelt. Schufelt moves that up high to Morris. Morris off the boards. It's going to roll to the far side. Tamuziak picks that up. Gets that to Pitcher. Morris. Pitcher gets the elbow up on Morris. And the reverse hit complete by the Saints player. Saints Tamuziak. Moves that up to Pitcher. Tried to touch that to Bizao. That was overrun. Bendel gets it up on the near side though. Gets that into the Canadian zone. Lost control. Puck goes into the far corner. Bendel and Morris battling for it on the far side. Comes loose for Duffett. Duffett.
That is a hook, and that is an on-goal.
Hanging on to that one. Bit of playoff hockey rules here as the Canadians get the puck out to the neutral zone. Here comes Heck into the zone. Oh, that was close. They're going to call that on the offside, and the whistle goes with 53 seconds to go in the second period.
Well, the Canadians had numbers there. A PAC Saints player catches an edge on the pivot at the blue line, turning from a 3-on-2 into a 3-on-1, but it was blown down on the offside. Canadians will look to push through the final minute here of the second frame, Curtis.
Draw far side in the neutral zone, just outside the Saints zone. Canadians win it. Thorvaldsen drops that back for Hort. Hort shot. Lorenz able to catch that and makes the stop without giving up the rebound. Stopping play with 47 seconds left in the second period. Face off near side in the Saints zone. Saints win it, move it behind the net. But to the far side, rushed out by number 19, Rushfeld. Over to Rogers on the right side. Flipped on to Webster, knocked down, cleared out by Thorlton. Saints keep that in the zone. There's a shot through traffic, bounces off the mark. Picked up behind the net by the Saints. I think it's number 15. Put over the near side. 25, sorry, Mavell. Put it in the slide. Oh, what an excellent chance by Rogers, and it just hops off his stick and wide. Hoare trying to eat time up in the corner. 10 seconds to go in the period. Comes loose for Eagle. Eagle hangs on. He's going to flip that down the ice and take an icing call with 2 seconds left on the clock here.
Well, right there, the PAC Saints almost got on the board, Curtis. Able to pick up a puck rimmed around the boards, and good job by both defensemen to get back to the front of the cage and prevent that centering pass.
Puck's dropped. Canadians end up with the puck. And the whistle's gonna go on the second period.
Right away you see PAC Saints player try to engage with Dallowall, drag him into something there, and like you said, that's exactly what this PAC Saints team is going to do, I think, for the remainder of this game, is just try to get the Canadians off their game, get them undisciplined and drag them into the penalty box to allow them to get the man advantage. But Canadians through 40 minutes, Curtis, have really held the play and done a great job on the forecheck. Great job by the forwards to move their feet and close off the walls on the forecheck. And anytime the puck is moved back up into the center ice area, the Canadians defensemen are firing it right back in. Force the PAC Saints to start from square one. So shots on goal in the second period for the PAC Saints, 8 for a two-period total of 22. And for your Canadians, 9 for a two-period total of 18.
Shots are pretty close to even then. Difference of 4? Yeah.
What do you think, how do you see this Canadians team playing in this first game of playoffs versus the regular season? And
safer plays. Yeah, definitely using their teammates more and a lot more net battles. Picking up the rebounds in front like that. It's a bit of a change from the regular season. I think they're playing well.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, for the most part, every line's had good energy, and I think for the most part as well, the defense core has played well. Moved the puck to the outside, quick up passes when they needed to. A lot of DDD passes on the regroup, and yeah, I wouldn't be changing anything for this final 20 minutes. They're controlling the game. They just need to keep pushing the pace.
Sounds good, yeah, and I think they just can't let the Saints dictate the play. Canadians are in front by 3. They just got to ride this out one more period and stay out of the box. Don't let the Saints bring them in with you, because the Saints are going to come out in the third period hard. They're going to play chippy, and Canadians have a habit of standing up for their teammates, really standing up for their goaltenders. So if they start going after the goaltender, there's going to be a lot of bodies in that box.
Yeah, and I think that's what I would say to the PAC Saints team is you gotta get the Canadians off their game, and like you said, get them into the penalty box. Get into the face of Webster. You know, the Canadians bumped your goalie. Maybe you go and get right into the blue paint, but see if you can drag them into the box to get a power play opportunity. Because besides that, this Canadians team has been controlling the play for the most part.
Yes, sir. And with that, we'll let our sponsors have a word. We'll see you back here for the third period in a few moments. Oops. gentlemen, welcome back to Millwoods. This is the first round robin game for the Canadians in the AEHL U16 AA playoffs. Just dropped the puck on the third period. Saints pick up the puck in their own zone, put it to the near side. Now ball loses it. Dollywall with the loose puck. Flips it to the far boards for Morris. Morris up to Taylor. Taylor chips that into the Saints zone. Picked up by Tamuziak. Abel's going to pick that up. Sends that to the outside to Rogers. Rogers cross ice to Rushfeld. Hops off his stick. Eagle picks that up for the Canadians. Sends that to the far side. Picked up by Taylor. Flips that over to the near boards for Dollywall. Battle for it right in front of the Saints bench. Mabel's going to come away with it. Dumped into the near boards. Webster retrieves it. Sends it to the far side for Morris. Morris up to Zohar. Nice pass up to Enriquez Gomez. Hits Yamniak in stride. Comes into the right side. Digs down low. Pushed off the puck by Johnson. Puck on the far side in the Saints zone. Turned over. Enriquez Gomez fishes that into the far boards. Yamniak chips it down low. Picked up on the far side by Wensley. His centering pass broken up by Yamniak. Comes out to center. Saints. Harrison's going to pick that up. Dump that on the far side in this Canadian zone. Throw it in front. Oh. That was super close there. Play still going in the Canadian zone. Oh, man. A shot from the right side by the Saints. Handcuffs the Canadians goaltender, and the Saints get on the board with 18-13 left in the third period.
Well, the Saints miss a wide open net. Just before that, fire it past the right side post as Webster was getting back into the net. But then a shot from the blue line goes low on the blocker side, just inside the post. Pretty much on the ice, Curtis, and the PAC Saints are on the board.
Is that going to be enough to give them life? And the puck chipped out of play. We'll have a face-off in the neutral zone. Going back to it, is that the jump that Saints needed to get back into this game?
Oh, that's exactly what they needed. Just under 2 minutes into this third period, PAC Saints able to get on the board. Now you're only 2 down. You got lots of time left here. The Canadians are going to have to push back.
Say 2 goals is the worst lead in hockey. As the puck's chipped into the Saints zone. West back to Thorvaldson. Thorvaldson carries that back into the corner. Comes up high. That's going to be intercepted by Bendall. Bendall carries that on the right side into the Canadian zone. Stepping in the slot. Webster with the save. Takes it to the center and he runs out behind him and it bounces in. And the Saints are right in this game now. Battling in at the right side is Bendall. He gets into the zone, throws it out in front, and it's just jammed away underneath the pads of Webster. And the Saints scored their second goal in 2.5 minutes into the third period.
Liam Bendall able to get into the zone, almost dragging his foot perpendicular to the boards and kept the puck in his skates. Then once he got it into the zone, fired on net. And a rebound gets past Webster, I believe, through his legs. And this PAC team is looking for blood, Curtis, trying to tie things up.
Eagle turns it around at center, sends it into the Saints zone. Schultz far side, knocked down by Richard. Schultz jams that out to the neutral zone. Morris will take that and dump that into the Saints zone. Tamuziak with it. Moves that up the ice for Rushfeld. Turned around at center. Saints pick it back in their own zone. Rogers, far side from Abel. Carries that on the far side. Rogers follows that up. Bounces over to Rushfeld. He's knocked off the puck. Morris with it. Morris sends that back to Eagle. Eagle sends that up the ice for Taylor. Taylor up for Richard going in, trying to move that back to Dollywall. That was blocked in the slot. Rogers has that on the far side. Rolls off his stick. Morris picks it up for the Canadians. Over to Eagle. Back to Morris. Put up the far side. Schufeld trying to chase it up. Getting around Schultz. Schultz leaves it on the boards. Picked up by number 17. Comes out to center. It's going to be rushed up the ice by number 20. Low shot. Webster with the save. Comes off the near glass. Burnett gets a piece of it. Knocked down in the Canadian zone by number 20. Comes loose for Frostad, who gets that out to center. Puck put to the far side. Duffett moves that to Schufeld. Schufeld gets that out to center. Number 20 dumps that back in. Rain over the near side for Kirkman. Centering pass intercepted by Heck. Heck moves that down low. Picked up by Duffett. Over to Frostad. Frostad back to Duffett. Duffett checked on the play. Here's Rain. Blocked in front by Duffett. Frostad trying to chase it in the far corner. Battling against Rain. Followed in by Kirkman. Comes loose for Heck. Heck's going to move that up the ice. Wheels that up the near side, gets cross center and dumps that, goes for a change. Johnson picks that up for the Saints. Moves it up to number 18, Rain. Rain, far side, gives that to number 7, Wensley. His shot off the mark. Harrison tries to move that down. That's stripped by Zahara. Zahara, left side for Enriquez Gomez. Zahara way offside as Enriquez Gomez was going to the far corner. We're going to stop here with 14:50 left in the third period.
Canadians player tripped up right in front of the Canadians net, almost resulted in the tying goal. No call on the play as we continue on 5-on-5. Canadians, good job possessing the puck. We'll have to keep it up and keep pushing the play here in the third, Curtis.
Puck comes into the Canadian zone. Harrison throws that in front. Christensen puts that on net. Webster able to contain that. Gets the stop with 14:40 left in the third period.
Well, if Christensen's able to cradle the puck and get a shot away, that's your leading goal scorer for the PAC Saints. Fortunate enough for the Canadians, he's only able to get his stick on it and redirect it, but Webster able to drop it and hold on.
Face off, near side in the Canadian zone. Bendall stepping in to take the draw against Thorvaldson. Put up the near boards. Frostad gets that for the Canadians. Over to Turcotte, up to Horror. Had it taken away, but Thorvaldson moves it up the ice to West. West with speed, there's a high shot. Lorenz with the blocker save. Picked up behind the net by Tamuziak. Horror seals it off for the Canadians in the left side for Thorvaldson. His shot goes wide. Picked up by Bendall Bazell of the Saints. Outlet to the far side. Pass across the ice to Pitcher. Pitcher gets that into the Canadian zone. Turcotte picks it back up. Reverses it back the near side to West. West flips that. Knocked down by Johnson at the line. Jam down low, comes into the corner. Rogers centering pass, broken up by Thorvaldson. Rogers gets it back, there's a shot over the crossbar, stays in play. Kept in on the far side by Daniluk. Canadians get it back behind their own net. Frostad moving up the ice. Now he slows down, flips it to the open side for Horror to pick up. Horror returns it back to Frostad. Frostad tried to flip that down the ice. We'll have an icing call here. Play stops with 13:32 left in the third period.
On that last shift, Eric Thorvaldson finds himself at the top of the circles in the high slot. Curtis gets handcuffed as the puck gets into his skates, but he was licking his chops, parked right there in the open ice. That would have been a glorious opportunity.
Saints win the draw. Zareski takes that down low. Tried to move that in the slot, hops up high. Saints keep control of it, knocked down in the slot by Eagle. Comes out to center. It's gonna get to Dollywall on the far side. They're gonna call it dead on the offside with 13:18 to go in the third period.
Oh, Dollywall. Wow. right at the blue line, picks up the puck. They're going to say he didn't have possession as the puck crossed the blue line, but Dollywall would have been away.
Face-off will be on the far side, just outside the Saint zone. Puck chopped down. It's going to go in the far corner of the Saint zone, picked up by number 5. Taylor knocks that down in the zone. Lost in the skates, picked up by Rushfeld. Moved up the ice, comes out to the neutral zone. Ulrich knocks that down. That's fired in traffic. Bounces over to Dollywall on the right side. Bounces over to Taylor. That's going to end up back in the neutral zone. Ulrich with it. Hard into the Saints zone. Just past the Wrens. Put up the near side. Comes into center now. Knocked down by Enriquez Gomez. He fires that back in the Saints zone. The Wrens sets that up for number 5. Moved over to Zareski. Zareski looking for that centering pass, connects with Rogers, and Rogers is away, coming against Duffett. Rogers, there's a shot. Duffett got the leg on that. Goes behind the net to pick up the rebound. Battle for it. Comes in the slot. Oh, it's in. The Saints have come all the way back. Pass into the slot, and putting it away is Rain, tying the game with 12:21 to go in the third period.
Well, Mason Rain, the third forward high for the PAC Saints. The puck centered from below the goal line, and Rain let it go right away. A quick snapshot. Beats Webster, and we're knotted at 3. The PAC Saints, 3 unanswered goals here in the third period, Curtis.
Is this when you call the timeout? No timeout called here by the Canadians. Brostad picks up the puck, tries to lead it down the ice to Schufeld. Schufeld takes that into the corner. Bumped off the puck by Schultz. Canadians keep it in the zone now. Schufeld back in the corner. Taking some jabs from Kirkman. Puck comes loose. Turned over to Heck. Heck moves it up the boards. Saints get it back. Out to the neutral zone it comes. Turcotte with the puck. Goes to the far side, look for Schufelt. Didn't connect with him. We'll have an icing call with 11:33 left in the third period.
Well, a few times now in the third period, the Canadians have elected to try to aerial or lob it out of the zone into the neutral zone and try to get behind this PAC Saints defense, but still the Canadians able to strip the puck of the PACs from the PAC Saints in their own end. So keep on the forecheck, keep pushing the play here.
Canadians with the puck. West outlets that to Hoare. Hoare goes inside, outside, throws that in front. Lorenz with the save, able to contain it, and hangs on with 11:29 left in the third period.
Yeah, just even a lot of the chances off the rush, Curtis. Canadians able to break in with speed, and there you see, get the puck to the net, and Lorenz had a little bit of trouble holding on to it.
Saints win the draw. They try to bounce it off the glass, ends up going out of play.
Well, this PAC Saints team definitely has life here in the third period.
Battling back from a 3-goal deficit. Puck on the far side, comes back to the point. Morris over to Hoare, moving it down to Thorvaldson. Thorvaldson in the corner, hangs on, steps in the slot, puck chipped off his stick. Battles back for it. Canadians had it briefly. Kamusiak moves that up the ice to Pitcher. Pitcher up the near side. Eagle pounds him into the boards. Bendel with the puck. There's a high shot over the shoulder of Webster. Number 5 comes off the bench, beating West to the puck. Turned over at center. Eagle takes one from behind, put into the stanchion. He gets up, rejoins play. Saints try to move that out. It's tipped into the neutral zone. Eagle cleans that up over to Morris. Morris up to Richard. Richard puts that in the far side. 5 picks up the puck. Versus up the far side. That's cut off by Taylor. Saints pick up the puck again in their own zone. Fed to the far side. That's tipped down.
Well, this forecheck for the Canadians just forcing numerous turnovers for the PAC Saints, and that icing's going to be waved off, Curtis.
Icing waved off. Canadians starting in their own zone. Ulrich over to West. West dumps that into the near side. Dollywall gets there around Schultz. Dollywall throws that in front. That's cleared away by number 28, Bizau. Ulrich sees that, gets down to Dollywall. Dollywall trying to shake off the check down low. He's put into the boards. Puck comes loose again. Saints going to pick it up. Put to the far side by Schultz. Dumped in by Zariski. On the near side, Harrison picks it up for the Saints. Comes loose for West. West up to Hort. Skips past him. Schultz knocks it down. Schultz trying to go in the far side. He's stopped. Resets. Sends the puck back to number 15. Put to the far side. Thorolfsson tried to make it inside. Delayed offside indicated. Canadians touch up. Coming up with the puck is Zareski. Passing the near side to Harrison. Harrison coming into the zone. Centering pass. Over to Christensen. There's a shot just over the crossbar. Tamiziak keeps that in at the right point. Turned over. Enriquez Gomez. Far side for Hoare. Hoare comes across center into the Saints zone. There's a shot that ends with the blocker save. Far side. Zahara. I think that hit a player, and that's going to go out of play.
Well, Christensen calling for the puck. Christensen calling for the puck. Once the PAC Saints had gained the zone.
You're okay. Yeah, shooting mode. Yep.
And then off the rush, Hoare with a shot as he pushed his defenseman almost back to the hash marks and fired through the screen.
Puck on the near side in the Saints zone. Saints breaking out. Rushfelt gets that out to center. Near side for Rogers. Morris chases Rogers into the boards. Centering pass broken up by Yamniak. Zahara with the loose puck puts up the boards. Saints knock it down. Rogers with it again. Put to the outside for Bendall. Up to number 5. Far side for Tamuziak. Low shot kicked away by
Great
Webster.
save.
Turn fired. Webster picks that up. He'll hang on to that one with 8:07 left in the third period.
Well, the Saints looking to try to fire the puck from every angle and try to catch Webster.
Face off near side in the Canadian zone. 8:07 to go in the third period. We're tied up at 3. This first round robin game of the playoffs for these two teams. Puck put out to center. Turned over by Johnson. He dumps that back in the Canadian zone. Duffett, far side, looking for Taylor. That's cut off in the zone by Kirkman. Kirkman trying to battle it off the boards. Rain comes to help. He gets the loose puck, sends that back to Kirkman. Moves that down low. 20 picks that up, shadowed by Frostad. Frostad almost walks away with it. Turns around, gets the puck back. Here's Frostad coming up the ice. Dollywall in front of Wall. Frostad gets away. Oh, and Frostad puts that up and out of play.
What a rush by Max Frostad. Ends up going inside out on the left defenseman who pivots right into his D partner. And Frostad elevates just over the net. I was going to say, Curtis, the official getting in the way in the Canadian zone almost did allow the PAC Saints to get a scoring opportunity.
Puck's dropped in the Saints zone. Saints coming away with it. Number 5 flips that high into the air. That'll end up out of play. And we'll reset on the near far side in the Saints zone.
These officials wanting to not decide the game, Curtis. It's 3-all, 7:20 remaining.
I think it's going to have to be a pretty egregious penalty. There's a shot right off the point by Thorvaldsen. Right off the draw. West keeps that in the corner. Now it's picked up by Bizau. Sends that to the far side. Centering pass broken up by the Canadians. Thorvaldsen with the loose puck. Comes back into the Saints zone. Number 5 gets a hold of it. Put that up the ice. Morris. Thorvaldsen tries to send that back to Morris. Morris is going to turn and dump that into the Saints zone. Zareski picks that up. Tries to go to the far side. Knocked down by Hoare. Kept in the Saint zone. Takes a bounce off the glass on the far side of the stanchion there and ends up right in the wheelhouse of Lorenz, who covers it up.
Oh, a good shift by Thorvaldson, West, and Hoare. Some zone time there, forcing PAC Saints into some turnovers, and then that shot back into the zone careens off the end of the boards, and Lorenz holds on.
Shot from the point, hits the stick, goes out of play.
Well, the Canadians pushing back here in the last few minutes. 6.5 minutes remain.
Draw on the far side in the Saint zone. Canadians win it. Throw in front. Put that into the back of the net. And the Canadians regain the lead with 6:34 to go in the third period.
I think it's Yamniak. What a great play. Set play off the draw. Win the face-off forward. The pass over to Yamniak. He fakes forehand, goes backhand. And Lorenz sells out on the fake. And then slams his stick into the post in disgust, and your Canadians are up 4-3. So right there, Canadians able to start tilting the ice back the other way in the last few shifts, and offensive zone face-off, and Yamniak, some silky hands.
Saints coming in the near side, the Canadian zone. Wensley takes in the corner, centers that. That's going to be broken up by Bastad. Oh, turn around, stolen by Christensen. He fires that wide. Kept in the far side. Saints firing everything they can towards the net right now. Put to the far side. Kept in by Christensen, high in the air. And Webster is going to calm things down. 6:06 to go in the third period.
Well, you sure notice a different period than what we thought it was going to be, Curtis.
Yeah.
3-0 for the Canadians. We thought the PAC Saints were going to try to drag the Canadians into some undisciplined play, but PAC Saints able to score 3 unanswered, but your Canadians have scored to take the 1-goal lead with 6 minutes remaining.
Eagle with the puck, flips that on the outside, knocked down at center by Schultz. Coming back for it is Harrison. Harrison dumps that into the Canadian zone. Morris back to play it. Tries to reverse it back to Eagle. Eagle pulls that up the near boards. Flips that out to center. Tamuziak gets a hold of it. Eagle knocks that down in his own zone. Sends that to the wide side to Morris. Morris quickly up to Enriquez Gomez. Enriquez Gomez, low shot on Lorenz, and Lorenz is going to make this stop.
A great play for Eagle to go to his deep partner Morris, and then Morris with a great pass up to Enriquez Gomez. And he gets a shot on net and tests Lorenz. And another face-off to the right of Lorenz in the PAC Saints zone.
5:33 to go in the third period. Saints win the draw. They get it up to center. Duffett knocks it down. Bendall wins the battle, comes into the zone. There's a shot. Webster with the glove save. Saints pushing. Right off that draw, they get the puck down. Make a nice drive to the right side.
Saints will get a different line out here, as Rushfield will come out with Rogers.
Face off on the far side in the Canadian zone. Canadians win it. Duffett gets it over to Frostad. Frostad up to Burnett. Burnett chips that in. Was it enough? No, just short of center. And we'll have an icing call with 5:12 to go in the third period.
Well, take care of your own end. Keep pushing and keep getting pucks deep, Curtis. I know it's a lot of cliches, but just play simple hockey.
Play it simple, make it boring. Just keep it out of the zone. PAC puts that into the corner. Canadians get it back. Duffett tries to move the outside. That's knocked down. It's up to grabs. Comes into the slot. It's coming back for it with Burnett. Chip to the outside. Canadians put it down the ice into the Saint zone. Icing waved off here. Daniluk moves that to the near boards. Centering pass. comes up to Rochefeld. Rochefeld up to Rogers. Caught at the line. Heck with it. Flips that back to Morris. Morris. Nice pass to Burnett. Burnett's going to dump that into the Saints zone.
Oh, great back check by Heck. Forced his man on the backtrack to try to dump it in, and the D-man able to stand up at the blue line.
Turnover in the zone. There's West just over the crossbar. Lasered for the top side, just off by a couple inches. Mabel's going to pick that up for the Saints. Gets across center, dumps that into the Canadian zone, and we'll go for a change. Webster didn't like the setup, so he's going to cover it up with 5:11 to go in the third period.
Well, like I mentioned, Finn Heck, great job on the backtrack, up the middle of the ice. Force the puck carrier in the zone entry to make a decision, and that allows your defenseman to gap up and make a play at the blue line when you have that forward back checking.
Heck, not getting a lot of shifts in the third period, however, making an impact when he gets on the ice. Hoare moves that back to Thorvaldson in the Saint zone. Thorvaldson down to Hoare. Hoare spins off a check, puts that down low. Thorvaldson trying to battle it back against Schultz. Schultz gets the inside, moves it up the far side, picked up by Bendall. Bendall lost it. Thorvaldson fires it wide. Tamuziak picks that up. Up to pitcher. Centering pass. Looking for Bazal. That's off the mark. Hoare almost, or Thorvaldson, that was Hoare almost marching it to the net. Saints in the zone. Low shot by a pitcher onto Webster. And Webster is going to pick that off the ice. Stopping play with 3:24 to go in the third period.
Oh, Finn Heck, like everybody else on this Canadiens roster, gotta know your role and play smart here. 3:24 remaining. As Taylor, Dollawall, and I believe Richard come out for a defensive face-off in the zone.
Richard set to take the draw against Wensley. Near side in the Canadian zone. Wensley wins it. Back to the point for Johnson. Johnson wants it down the half boards. Low shot. Webster with the blocker save. That goes out of play.
Well, the PAC Saints player looking to go short side upstairs on Webster. He's able to fight it off with a blocker and get it up into the netting for a whistle.
Puck's dropped in the Canadian zone. It's on the near board. Saints have it. Try to move it down low. They cycle behind the net to the far side. Now they come back to the near side. Centering pass. Broke it up by Richard. Richard jams that up the board. Looking for Dollywall. Christensen steps in. Dollywall gets it back. Moves it up the near side. Hustling back for it is Johnson for the Saints. Moves that to number Danilic on the far side. Danilic back to Johnson. Up to Harrison. Harrison gets the puck up to Wensley. Wensley into the Canadian zone on the far side. Centering pass blocked by Turcotte. Comes over to Richard. Richard's going to use the boards. Put that down the ice. And it'll be an icing call, but the Canadians will take that to get the change in.
Canadians getting a line change in. If that's not an ice, and Christensen remained at the Canadians' blue line on the far side of the ice, waiting for the quick up pass from his D-man. Christensen, their leading scorer, off. I'm sure he'll catch his breath and get right back out.
Shot from the point, knocked down in traffic. Another one followed up, bounces over to the near boards. 2:30 to go in your third period. Canadians hanging on to a 1-goal lead. Tamuziak with the shot. Glove save, Webster. He'll get the stop here with 2:24 to go in the third.
Webster getting a lot of work with his glove hand here in the third period, Curtis, and smartly managing the game and holding on at every opportunity to get a stoppage.
If I had to guess, their favorite target is low glove on Webster. For another one.
Oh, and that's a penalty that the official, unfortunately for the PAC Saints, has to call. The stick right into the midsection of the Canadiens player, hauls him down, and your Canadians will go on the power play. And it looks like he's getting 2 and a 10, I think, so he'll be exited to the showers and the splendor of the hottest water.
It's the hottest water for saying so unpleasant and cold things.
And the PAC Saints have to put a player in the box.
So it'll be Rain taking the spot of Rushfelt in the box. Face off far side in the Saint zone. Canadians move the puck down low. Saints move to the outside. Here's Schultz picking it up. Looking for Christensen. He can't catch up to it. Frostad there first for the Canadians. Shadowed by Christensen. Frostad sets up behind his own net. Moves it to the far side. Turned over. Picked up by Bendel. Bendel over to Christensen. Christensen steps into the slot. Back checked by the Canadians. Moves the puck. Zahara up to Dollywall. Up to Thorvaldson. Thorvaldson gets into the zone. He's knocked off the puck. Saints clear the zone. 1:40 to go in the third period. Puck put to the far side to Horror. 1:20 left in the Canadians' power play. Here comes Zahara up the ice with it. Drops that back to Frostad. Frostad hangs on. There's a shot. Runs with the blocker save. Christensen moving up the ice to the far side. Christensen steps in. There's a shot. Whoops! Still with the glove save. And that was a dangerous looking play by the Saints shorthanded.
Oh, that's Christensen, and he's upset with himself. Right before that, Bendel strips the puck from the Canadians at the blue line. Instead of firing it deep, he finds Christensen the opposite side of the ice. So the PAC Saints looking to strike here shorthanded. Christensen again going to catch his breath, and he might come out on the penalty kill here again, as the looks like the Canadians have called a 30-second timeout, Curtis.
Time to get their penalty killers, breathe some brief rest, get the breath back into them. Drop a defensive play in their own zone.
So Frost had great job to get the puck on the regroup for the zone entry on the power play. Fakes like he's going to shoot it, beats his man up just inside the PAC Saints blue line, and then fires it on net. Zahara standing back door. That puck on the rebound just skips over the stick of Zahara, but the Frostad finds Zahara back door for the tap in. But at this time, you just want to control the play. You got a minute and 3 left on the power play and a minute and 20 left in this hockey game.
Puck's dropped in the Canadian zone. Canadians win it. Frostad sets up behind his own net. Outlet to the far side to Horror. Horror spills that back to Frostad. Frostad with it. Thorvaldson, cross ice pass to Horror. Horror has space to move up the ice. Hits across center, dumps that in. Picked up by number 23 Johnson. Canadians battle for it back. Dollywall gets upended behind the net. Puck comes out to the neutral zone. Horror with it. 50 seconds to go in the third period. Frostad back to Horror on the far side. Jammed in to Zahara. He puts that into the Saint zone. Johnson moves up the ice quickly. Horror picks it up. He's going to flip that in the near side. 15 seconds left in the power play.
So a 1-2-2 neutral zone here on the power play. I like this, Curtis.
Frostad moves that down the ice, tipped in by Dollywall. Had to do good work there to get the stick on it, avoid the icing. Rogers picks it up on the near side, coming into the zone, turned away, Horror with it, puts that up the near side, dumped back in. 4 seconds to go in the game. High shot. Webster with the blocker save. Christensen puts that wide at the end just as the buzzer goes. And the Canadians narrowly escape here in the third period. But they do come away with the win. First one of the playoffs in their first game.
Yeah, that would have been one that the control room in Toronto in the NHL would be looking at, as Christensen able to get his stick on it and chip it to the net. But the Canadians come up with a 4-3 win, Curtis, to start this playoff round robin. A great effort by both teams, and PAC Saints down but not out made this a hockey game in the third period.
Yeah, they certainly made an interesting third period. PAC came out and within whatever, 2.5 minutes. They were down a goal, and by the halfway point of the third period, they had tied it up.
Well, shots on goal show that too. Third period shots on goal for the PAC Saints 17 for a 2-period total of 39. And your CAC Canadians, it's 9s across the board. 9 shots again in the third period for a 3-period total of 27. So special teams, the Saints 0 for 2 and your Canadians 1 for 4.
So the Canadians come away with a win this time. I mean, it's a good start to the playoffs. Next time they're going to be on the ice will be Thursday evening at 8 o'clock from Castle Downs. Oh, internet's not so good there, partner.
Well, thanks for having me out tonight, Curtis. Maybe I can make it for that
We would
second
love to
game
have you
as well.
back up. Sorry. We would love to have you back out, Nathan. It was good. We, folks at home, I've been working with Nathan all year on our younger son's team, Easton's team with MLAC, but he wanted to jump in and give a little extra for playoffs for the Canadians here tonight. So thank you for coming out, Nathan. Hopefully we can see you throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, sounds good. This Canadians team's exciting to watch. They have a good jump to, when they really push the pace, they move the puck well, great on the forecheck and have some scoring punch as well too. So hopefully I can make it out for the next game as well, because I'm looking forward to see what the Canadians can do in this playoff round robin and further into the playoffs.
Fantastic. Looking at the camera tonight was Mr. Greg Eagle. Oh, Matt Richard giving the good shout out. Right beside me, Nathan Smith adding color, and my name's Curtis Bykowski. It's a pleasure, folks. We will see you Thursday evening.
They started this at a tournament in Texas.
Oh, that's okay. I watched some of the one game in Texas just because I'm subscribed to that too. Yeah. So I was like, oh, they're playing right now.
Yeah, that was a bit of a nerve-wracking, man. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no worries.
Nice to see you again. Yeah, if you come out again, I'll be doing the camera.